This sports presentation is brought to you by Fats Lager. When you want a beer that'll fill you, get fat. Fats Lager. You are watching E.T.N Sports, where we don't cover football, basketball, baseball, soccer, and hockey. Now, for the presentation, let's take you to our host, Rob Doppleganger. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Kaiju Fantasy Battle Tournament pre-draft show. It has been some time, and we know that many of you have been waiting to hear what's been going on with the tournament. Things have been very hush-hush around here on E.T.N, and now we finally have some news to share. I'm your host, Rob Doppleganger. And with me today will be my esteemed colleague, your color commentator, who will be joining us for the tournament and tournaments going forward. You all know him, love him, and adore him as Lenny Watson, coming to us via satellite.
Yes.
Lenny, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing good. Happy to be back here on E.T.N with you there, Rob. Very good. Very good. Yeah.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, let's talk some. Absolutely.
So, Lenny, what have you got for us from the E.T.N headquarters, where they're sorting out the draft, the monsters, prepping the tournament? Can you share anything?
Well, you know, Lenny might have some treats up his sleeve.
Oh, I love treats,
yeah.
especially this early before October. Please share.
Well, we got 4 Kaiju that we're going to reveal today. Yes. And basically, we have 2 Kaiju that have been drafted. Little bit of a surprise to me. And then 2 Kaiju that were left out of the draft. And even that's even a bigger surprise. You know what I'm saying?
So, 4 Kaiju, 2 that are actually in the draft, and 2 that have been left out. All 4 of them surprises, you say. So please, Lenny, share with us. Why are you surprised that 2 particular monsters got picked and 2 particular monsters got left out? Why is that a surprise? Please.
Well, you know, one of the first picks was Zilla. And this came as a big surprise to me, considering that debacle back in 1998, where this big iguana ran around town, basically avoiding the military, trying to lay some eggs, and then gets wiped out by 4, count them, 4 missiles at the end of the movie. Something that even a regular kaiju will brush off. Nothing big to a real kaiju. So I was a little surprised at that pick.
Well, Zilla is quite a surprise. I have to agree there. I did not expect him to get picked at all. But to be fair, Lenny, I gotta say, he is quite agile. He is quite the size like some of the other creatures in this tournament. So why do you think he doesn't stand a chance?
Well, quite simply, it's like I just said. If he can't even take a normal missile, how's he going to take atomic breath from, like, Godzilla? How's he going to stand up to other monsters like Space Godzilla, even the Muto? He doesn't have a chance. I'm surprised he's in this draft. I can tell you right now, he's not going to last long. He might run around for a little bit, maybe avoid something here or there, but eventually, one shot from any of these other monsters and he's a goner.
Well, be that as it may, it should be an interesting scenario to see, A, where he got picked, and B, who he's up against in the first round of the tournament. So, bring us to your next surprise on the pick section.
Well, the next surprise is Hedorah. This is another kaiju that got picked, and quite frankly, I'm a little surprised because while he has many different attributes, considering how many people hate this movie for whatever reason, me personally, I like the movie. But considering how many people hate this movie, I'm surprised he even made it into the tournament.
Ah, yes. Yes. The living pollution. Yes, Hedorah. Well, that is quite a surprise, but at the same time, he has proven to be quite powerful, don't you think?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. You know, as I said before, he's got many attributes. But the fact of the matter is he did not beat the king. And on top of that, I can't really see him competing with too many of the other monsters that I've seen that have already been drafted that I can't reveal at this point. But I will say this. The only thing about Hedorah that I feel may have a chance, his flight and his arsenal. But at the same time, while I don't know the order of the draft, with the monsters that I have seen, I can't really see him beating anyone.
So Lenny, now please explain to us the two monsters that you were surprised were not selected in the draft, and why do you think so?
Well, the first of the two kaijus that I was surprised did not get drafted, number one was Orga. Yes, Orga did not make the cut, and this is a little surprising considering how powerful he displayed himself, and not to mention there's a lot of Godzilla fans out there who consider Orga to be one of the most powerful kaijus to ever step foot on screen and ever battle the G.
Oh, well, Orga, I have to concur there, Lenny. I think that was quite a surprise, considering the match he gave Godzilla in the year 2000 when they fought on screen. He nearly swallowed him whole. But, be that as it may, Godzilla did come out on top, but he did prove to be quite an adversary.
Well, the second kaiju that surprised me that didn't get drafted was Mothra. Yes, Rainbow Bright, as I like to call her. I'm not a big Mothra fan, but considering how many people always say, oh, she's a deity, she's a god. Well, if she's a god, then how come she ain't in the draft? Well, I'll tell you one thing. If I truly believe somebody was a god, that'd be my first pick. Nobody can beat a god. But the fact of the matter is that I'm not too disappointed she didn't make the cut. I never really thought highly of that bitch. And quite frankly, I think she's overrated. But nonetheless, it's still a surprise that she did not make the cut.
Yes, Mothra. That I have to say, that is a bit of a surprise. But considering that the Mothra that was up for selection is the full-fledged flying moth, I have to say, I think some of the drafters, excuse me, I think probably their concern there was Mothra at her full evolutionary stage always bit the dust.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, she always sacrificed herself for the greater good. And at the same time, she always found a way to beat Godzilla, which is another reason I'm not surprised, am surprised that she made the cut, because whether it was her or her larvae or a combination of the two, they always found a way to best the Big J. So that's another reason I'm a little surprised she didn't get picked, considering historically she has a winning record against the Big J.
Well, Lenny, I gotta say, that's quite some good information to bring to us, especially considering, we're not giving away too much. I mean, we know that Zilla and Hedorah are in the tournament. We just don't know when they're getting drafted, and we don't know who they're up against first. So that should be interesting to see down the road. So, Lenny, we're going to cut this one short today. We just wanted to share some information with our viewers. And please, if there's anything you have to say before we go, by all means.
Well, yeah, of course. I just want to say that this tournament is going to be fantastic. Again, I don't know in what order these monsters were picked, but I can tell you right now, I do know some of the monsters that were drafted, and that's a very strong roster. It's going to make for a very entertaining tournament. And I will give my draft predictions hopefully within the next week, and we can see just how close I got to the actual picks when the draft show comes.
Well said, my friend. Well said. Well, thank you, everybody, for watching this update on the Kaiju Fantasy Battle Tournament. We will be bringing you more information, and I can tell you that the draft is coming within the next week. So stay tuned for that. We'll be able to share some very insightful information, give you our analysis, our expectations, and furthermore, share with you our thoughts and all that other good stuff. Anyway, for Lenny, this is Rob Doppleganger taking off here on E.T.N Studios, providing you with all the information, all the sports that we don't do, and we will see you next time.
Take it easy, people. Peace.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Don't forget to subscribe and join the Nation Facebook page.